If you could permit, shall we start with this session?
Sorry, sir, could you please repeat?
Sir, if you could permit, shall we start with this session?
Sure, sir. Yeah.
So, good afternoon, one and all, and namaste, gathered in this virtual platform for this UGC-sponsored short-term course in the Artificial Intelligence in Education and Research. Dear participants, since last 2 days and in the morning session, we have discussing with the different strategies and the modalities towards the implementation of this AI-based technologies and tools in our education and our research purpose. And couple of tools and the techniques we have with some renowned expert that has been called from the renowned industries. Today, in particular session, we are discussing on the AI-driven bibliography discovery with the evidence-based synthesis with the help of one renowned expert, Mr. Kiran Raj V. Sir, who is the scientific officer from the Department of Imaging, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore. Friends, Mr. Kiran Raj sir is at present serving as a scientific officer. Before joining the industry, he is associated with the academics and he has more than 8 years of PG teaching experiences. His area of research is the machine learning, drug discovery. Then after he is then after completing his he has completed his BE in the electronics and communication engineering as well as the MTech in the signal processing engineering. After the joining the industries, he has after completing his studies and teaching, he has joined the various industries as a capacity in the associate consultant and junior scientific officer at the Department of Advanced Analytics, Neuroimaging, and the Competitive Intelligence. He has also worked with the IQVIA Inclusive and the right now in the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences at the Bangalore, situated in the Bangalore, India. So, sir, today we'll discuss on the AI-driven bibliography discovery with the evidence-based synthesis that is the useful for our research purpose. So, without wasting so much time, sir, I again extend my warm welcome to you and request you to please start with your speech.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Just give me some time. I'll like to share my screen.
Your screen is visible, sir.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Sir, is it possible to make in the presentation mode, sir?
Yeah, 1 minute. Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, one and everyone. Thank you for providing me the opportunity today. So today's session would be about the bibliographic analysis in general and how AI is going to assist in the process of bibliographic discovery analysis in terms of while conducting the literature review. So the contents I'll be discussing today is on a bit of a theoretical aspect as to justification for an AI powered literature review and what basically is a literature review. And then I would be listing a few differences between the standard procedure in conducting a review and the advantages of an AI powered literature review. And finally, what are the significant advantages? Then followed by the workflow. So workflow, I mean, so here we have like multiple AI tools which will be worked sequentially, and then we will be visualizing the findings from the AI tool using the VOS viewer, which is a bibliographic analysis tool. And then finally, we'll be synthesizing the readings, the findings. So this is the agenda for today's session. Now, so coming to a literature review. So what basically is a literature review? So just hold on a second. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I'm just switching off the video part just to save my internet. The coverage is a little less here. That's okay. And yeah, coming to the okay, right. Yeah. So what is a literature review? So literature review, as defined by Elsewhere, one of the publishing companies, is a study which involves scholarly materials, surveying the scholarly material with an aim to discuss public information or published information about a specific topic or a research question. So this is a formal definition of a literature review that is prescribed by Elsewhere publishing company. Now, the general process of conducting a literature review, let us say that without the involvement of AI, if a person has to like undergo like in conducting a literature review, the general procedure would be the following, right? The first is you choose a topic or a research question to work on, and then you set the scope of it, which means that you define that topic, you you come up with a research question, and then you select the database for that. For example, if you are going towards a medical research question, you would be searching for databases such as PubMed or Medline. Or if you're going towards an engineering or a technical database, you would be searching towards, let's say, Scopus or WS, Web of Science, right? So that is the second stage. The third stage, which involves selecting the relevant database for the topic you have selected. Then the search process. Search process is nothing but the screening. So the screening in the sense, once you have identified the database and once you have refined your search query, so once you have given all the relevant keywords with the like with the Boolean expression, once you have got the search expression, then you will be screening the papers, right? So identifying which papers are actually relevant and which are not relevant. So this is what we call as the inclusion and exclusion criteria, right? Based on certain criteria, which we identify, some papers will be included and some papers will be excluded. And based on the included papers, so we will be synthesizing the paper, so which we will be taking each and every paper, manually reading the paper. So first we'll be screening the title, then the abstract, then the actual contents of the paper. And then we will come up with something called as the summary table or the evidence table, right? Where we summarize the contents. And finally, we will come up at the summarized, like at the summarization. So this is the manual way of conducting a literature review. And depending on the context and depending on the topic, this could take days, weeks, sometimes even months with experience. So this is the general way. And again, the process of identifying the research gap. So once the literature review has been done, the next, the idea of conducting a research, like of a literature review, is to find out what is the research gap or where the actual research is necessary or where we can like contribute our bit into the literature, existing literature. So that's why we do the review part, right? So again, the process of identifying the research gap, if AI was not involved, again this would involve so these are the steps that goes on, right? So first we select the motivation of the study based on the on the literature what we have identified. We will come up as with the why are we conducting this literature review, followed by the relevant keywords. So once we have screened the papers and once we have it got some knowledge about the literature, we would be like identifying few important keywords on the topic, and then how these keywords are sequentially identified. On those, we will identify the issues, right? So like what are the existing issues that are prevalent in the literature, and then we will go about in conducting the systematic review based on the issues that has been addressed. So this is again the manual way of identifying a research gap without the AI assistance. Again, this could take weeks depending on the context of the topic. Now, before getting into this part, the research protocols, I would like to say that there is one misunderstanding what people often have towards the AI tools. That so let us say that you have done like you have queried some prompts. Okay, you have given some prompts to the AI tool, and the AI tool. So let's say, for example, ChatGPT. So you actually give some queries to the ChatGPT, so that will give you out some information. Now, many people think that that is the end of the process of a literature review. So we just take that, people just paraphrase it, and then they pass it out as this is their own, and like that is what they have got. So in reality, that would be termed as plagiarism. Under plagiarism, there is a subcategory called as unintentional plagiarism, where you genuinely don't intend to plagiarize, but still it will be considered as a plagiarism. So many people fall into this trap. So I would like to give an example in this context. So let's say that you want to go to your grocery store from your home. That's around 2 kilometers from your home. So if you had no means, right? If you had no tools, you would literally walk for around 2 kilometers. That would take around, let's say, 10-15 minutes for an average person. Now, if you had a vehicle, let's say you had a cycle, that would cut down your time by around like 5 minutes. So you would reach that the same grocery store for which is 2 kilometers away in, like, let's say, 10 kilometers. So if you had a vehicle like a bike or a car, that would still be reduced to mere 5 minutes. So like in a matter of 5 minutes, you would reach your like the grocery store easily. So that would cut down significantly. Now, the point here, what I'm trying to make is, even though you have a vehicle which enables you to be faster, which takes you to that destination, you still have to make that travel. You still have to go in that path. You still, if the path is there, you still need to travel in that path. If the path is not there, you still need to discover the path. What the AI tool merely does is, it just helps you in doing the process, in doing those tasks. It just helps you for the task to be automated. So instead of putting the energy to walk, it just carries you more quickly. But the car or the vehicle itself does not have any purpose. It does not have any intention of going to the grocery. It is you who is going to the grocery. So the difference what I'm trying to make here is, this is a tool. This is not an end point. The AI tool which we are using, that is not the end. So like the outcome, what it gives us, that is not the end point. Okay. So coming back to the identifying the research gap and the literature review process. So there are few research protocols which, even though you're doing it manually or through AI, it has to undergo these criteria, right? So there are a few of them. I've just listed like 3 of them. So the first one is called Finer, which was described by elsewhere a few times, like a little while back. So like again, the Finer represents the feasibility, interesting, novel, ethical, and relevant. So when you try to conduct a literature review, it should satisfy these points. Like, is the study feasible? And are you exploring any like prevalent research gap that is in the interest, or is it a burning issue? And then, is there a novelty which you are bringing into your literature review? Are you identifying a novel research gap which others haven't identified? And is the conducting of literature review ethical? Means, if you are conducting like a medical literature review, have you like procured the consent of the participants, and is the participants data safe? So then the final part is the relevancy. So are you actually, just, am I still in the meeting? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Just a minute. And the final part is the relevancy, where like once you conduct your relevance, once you conduct your literature review, is it really making any difference in the existing review? So this is one aspect of the finer. Then when you come to the PICO, so this is mainly used in the medical research. So my background predominantly is from the medical institution of the healthcare sector. So my research mainly involves in from the healthcare and the pharmaceutical sector. So my explanation would be slightly biased towards the medical research part, but nevertheless, these are the basic building blocks for any research tasks. So again, coming to PICO, this involves population, intervention, comparison, and outcome. So let's say that you are conducting a review for a certain patient group, let's say for Parkinson's or for some cancer patients. So here there are 4 criteria again you need to incorporate. One is population, where you are referring to that group of individuals which has some condition, like for example, patients with Parkinson or diabetes. And so you are filtering only those populations, and then you are trying to assess the intervention or the treatment or line of medication that was given to these patients. And then the third part would be you are taking the criteria of comparison, means for a given treatment of those people, were there any alternative treatments that were given? If so, what was the difference? And finally, the outcome. So does the intervention is actually making any difference or not to the people? So when you are conducting a literature review, these 4 categories or these 4 factors need to be incorporated. It needs to be reflected in case of a medical research. Again, coming to the third protocol, that is called as the focus, that is feasibility, outcome, cost, uniqueness, and scope. So let's say that like literature review is not only pertain to publications, right? Sometimes you also write for grants, like for research grants. And many times, more than the actual novelty or more than the actual technicality, although that is important, another aspect is on the practicality of the experiment, right? So when you write for a research grant, when a person is asking for a funding, the factor of practicality is very important. So again, while conducting a literature review in grants, this protocol is usually followed. That is the feasibility, outcome, cost, uniqueness, and scope. So again, feasibility involves what are the practical aspects of the research. Is the topic feasible for is the infrastructure feasible? Is there an access to the population which you are trying to study? Can it be done within a predefined timeline, specified timeline? So these are the feasibility factors. Then the outcome. So the outcome, what you're proposing, is it robust and is it reproducible? If another person wants to develop the same thing, is it reproducible? And are the findings significant? Then comes the cost. So again, the financial aspect of it. Then the uniqueness. So let's say that you are actually proposing, is it actually being done by some other works, or is it being ignored? If it's ignored, why? And then the last part is the scope. To what extent can this be commercialized, or to what extent can this be used? So all these factors needs to be incorporated while you are conducting a literature review, while writing a grant. So these tasks has to be done whether or not you are using AI. To be clear, what the AI does is it automates many of these tasks. So there are many routine tasks that involves during this, during incorporating these factors. So these routine tasks are automated by the AI tools. That makes the overall process more effective. That is the crux of the matter. Coming to the difference between standard and AI powered. So let's say again, so this is the standard methodology of there are like 6 stages as I had previously mentioned. So I'll quickly go through it. So so while defining a research question, like the researcher begins by defining a research question. You need to have some kind of a research question or a topic in mind before going ahead for a review paper, right? For a review. What the AI can do is it could suggest you some topics and identify some patterns. That is the contribution what the AI powered review tool can help in the in the developing or the defining of a research question. And then coming to the literature search, again, here manually, like the research conventionally, the researcher would manually search for the database for a given topic, and then he would apply some filters, and then he would develop his query like a search expression. Whereas what the AI model does is it automates this entire thing. So it automates the search process by scraping through many of the databases, journals, based on citation, keywords, and matches. Although it does not have that subjectivity involved, at this level, it is very objective. So it will select all the databases and the journals based on some predefined criteria. That is what the AI could help the researcher. Then the third part is on the screening. Now, this is the most manual task, right? This is the most time consuming task. So the researcher manually screens each and every paper of the title and abstract to assess whether it is relevant or not. So what the AI powered like literature tool will do is, so here it is based on an LLM model, large language model. So what this large language model does is, it will take your prompt in a natural language, and it will try to process that language into identifiable keywords. It will connect those keywords, and it will create as a task. So that is mentioned here. So like what the tool does is it automates the selection process by classifying the papers based on the LLM models on criteria such as relevancy and methodology. So that is what it does. Whether that criteria, like the selection criteria is valid or not. Hello? Can I continue? Is there any questions? I'm sorry, can you please repeat? There is a, could not hear it properly. Hello?
Sir, you can please continue, sir. Please continue.
Okay. Okay. I'll be coming soon to the hands-on. Yeah, I'll be coming to the hands-on. Just give me some time to just lay out my groundwork, right? Such that we'll have a common ground while doing it. And yeah, so this is the fourth.
Mr. Shivraj Patil, can you please mute your mic? Don't be creative. You're creating an interference. Sir, please continue.
Okay.
Sir, please continue.
Yes, sir. Okay. So coming to the third stage, as I had mentioned, the process of screening is done automatically based on criteria such as the relevancy of papers, methodology, significance, citations. Based on these criteria, the AI tool automates the process of screening. Now, whether the method of automation is valid or not, again, has to be decided by the researcher. The criteria which has been selected and the pattern what it has been identified, whether this is valid or not, has to be like validated by the researcher. It cannot be taken for granted that this is the final outcome. Okay, then coming to the fourth stage, that is the data extraction and organization. So again, like once we have screened all the papers, again we will be providing the evidence table, where we'll be like structuring the findings what we have got from all the screening of papers into like designs, findings, authors, methodology, all these things into something called as an evidence table. Now this again can be automated through the process of text mining and pattern recognition techniques. Now again, whether the method of recognizing the pattern, whether the pattern which has been recognized is correct or not, that has to be validated by the reviewer or the researcher. Now, the reason why I say this is there is a concept called as topic mapping. And so generally, we as humans, we go towards the linear side of the topic mapping. So let's say that we say A is connected to B is connected to C, Therefore, A is connected to C. This is called linearity. So we as human beings tend to go towards that. So since paper A is connected to paper B and paper B is connected to paper C, therefore paper A is connected to paper C. We try to develop this methodology. Whereas while you go for a deep learning or an LLM model or the or the AI, that does not happen linearly. It goes non-linearly. There is no concept of therefore. It takes up few links which cannot be explained. It identifies few patterns which cannot be explained logically. If at all it has to be explained, there would be some criteria, but it would not meet to the general eye. You really have to go deep inside to find out if there is any linearity or not. So the idea of turning from non-linear to linear, there the intervention of a researcher is necessary. Now again, one would ask that why is this necessary? So let me give you a small example for that, and then I'll continue towards the hands-on. So let's say that the purpose of using this AI tool. So let's say you want to go to a specific place. You are in Bangalore and you want to go to a specific place in, let's say, Delhi. So you are in let's say in Bangalore cantonment, and you want to go to Delhi, let's say to Rajiv Chowk. So that's approximately like thousands of kilometers, right? That's I think around 2,500 kilometers. So if you take your car, definitely you can accurately reach that place of Rajiv Chowk, but that is not very feasible, right? So first, what you would do, you would take a public transport or a big vehicle, let's say like a bus or a train or an aeroplane. So you will go to the state of Delhi. Once you go there, then you can hire a private vehicle or you can go privately searching for that particular area. The AI tool does similarly to that. So although you cannot take it for granted that it will take you to that specific area, because an aeroplane cannot go to that specific area, right? Similarly, such a big tool cannot go to that very niche area which you're looking for, but it can take you around that area, where you again have to go manual to fine tune it. So the last part is called as a synthesis and analysis, where you will be synthesizing your papers again based on your expertise and regarding your knowledge about the topic, which would lead to some bias, which could lead to some bias, which from researcher to researcher, right? Whereas when the AI, although bias is there, it is a predictable bias. It is not an unpredictable or a very subjective bias. That is the difference. AI also will produce bias in its findings in synthesizing the screened papers, but the bias can be identified and quantified as compared to a manual intervention. Finally is the writing part, which it's very indicative of it. Yeah, I'll come to this part in the last part. So this is a general workflow of what we are going to do today. So first we will be going to define the research question. That is again based on a framework, that is based on a peak or a final framework. And then we will be using a broad search term for using a tool called as perplexity.ai, where we identify the key papers. And then we will refine these papers, which has been identified by the perplexity, into consensus.ai. Here, we try to go deeper into the review. And then once we get the output from the consensus.ai in terms of evidence matrix and other criteria, we will import those papers. So ultimately, it is a bunch of papers. We will take those papers and we will import it into a visualization. This is called as a VOS viewer. I am not sure how many of you have used. This is a very simpler tool which visualizes the bibliography for a given paper. So in the visualization, we will be identifying the clusters and what are the relationship between the keywords, authors, co-citation analysis, all these things we will be seeing. And step 5 is actually repeating step 3 and step 4 to further refine the process. And finally, synthesizing the tables. Okay. Up till here, any questions? Does anyone want to ask any questions, or does anyone has anything to say?
No, sir. You can continue, sir. Practice session, we'll get the doubts.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll just put the link here in the chat box. So how many of you have installed the software of perplexity.ai? Has everyone installed the tool?
No, sir. No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, has anyone covered this tool, perplexity.ai?
No, sir.
No one has covered.
Yes, sir.
I see. Okay, I'm assuming everyone are using Windows. So
Perplexity.
I'm pasting a link into the chat box. So everyone please open to that. And let me see if there is an option to pin this. Okay, fine. So ideally, you would also be having a. All right. So let me go here only and try to do that would be better. Let me just unshare my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yes. So before actually using this, I would actually like recommend you to use these two tools very cautiously, because these tools have very limited number of prompts. I think Perplexity has around 5 prompts. You can only give around 5 prompts, and that's about it. Then you have to again wait the next day only to again reopen it. And for the consensus, it's even more worst. You just have around 10 prompts for a month. So if you give 10 different prompts, that's it. You have to wait again for the next month to actually start over to for the quota to open. So unless you are very sure you have done your homework on the topics, do not use these tools. These are specifically meant for academic purpose, and it's assumed that people who are using these tools have a certain idea about the topic which they are exploring here. So the prompts are very limited. So please be cautious while using the prompts. So I'll keep this screen divided into 2 parts. So here, first is I am taking one hypothesis, okay, or one question here. Does mindfulness training improve cognitive flexibility in adults? So this is one research question which I am trying to find out. This is my research. I am giving you an example here. Need not have to be the same thing. So let's say that I have given this. Does mindfulness training improve cognitive flexibility in adults? So I will give, so before getting into that, if you see there is a globe icon, right? So there are options of searching the entire internet or searching specifically on academic papers. So I will switch off the web and I will switch on the academic papers. So all the results, what it is retrieving, it is purely from the academic papers only, not from the internet. So this is, as you can see, this is more advantage than the Google Scholar, right? So Google Scholar just throws every available article that's available online, whereas here it's strictly academic. So I'll just switch it on and I'll give it a go. So you see that it is generating some contents here. Now the structure, if you see, there is answer, there are sources, and there is task. So it will explain you what are the what is the answer it has given, and what are the sources it has considered, and what are the tasks it has taken to arrive at this answer. These are the three main components. Now, here, this is in the form of a question, right? Does mindfulness training improve cognitive flexibility in adults? Yes or no? So the answer, what it provides is a small summary. So yes, there is a certain effect. Okay, well, like for those of you who are aware of these things, it's fine. Otherwise, like the idea is here, yes, it is saying that there is certain possibility that there is a relation between mindfulness training and the cognitive flexibility. That is what it is trying to say. And to support this summary or to support this part, it is giving us some key findings here. So what are the key findings from the 18 sources it has identified? So there are systemic reviews and meta-analysis. Again, it provides a specific year, in which year the what type of study, whether it was a controlled randomized trial or a meta-analysis. It tries to tell you what kind of study in what year has found out what. Okay, that part it gives you. This is in the support for the evidence or the sorry, this is in support for its answer. So this is in a way what we call as evidence-based approach. Now, if you take the same question and if you put it in ChatGPT, what that does is it will give you like a similar kind of outcome, but its references are not genuine. There is a concept called as hallucination, which means that the AI tool, specifically the ChatGPT, makes up its own answers, which are actually not in existence. It does not exist. So the tool makes up its own answers, which is called as hallucination. So that is avoided in these tools, which are specifically built for academic purpose. So for example, see here, for this statement, it is giving you the paper 2 and 3 site. It is these are the studies. This is another populations, and then it has built a table where, based on these 18 papers, it is given you the type of the study, then what kind of population, then what are the effect, like whether it was positive or negative, and then what are the findings. So this in turn is the PICO, PICO, population intervention comparison and outcome. So which you should have otherwise done by manually screening these 18 papers. Each and every paper you had to go through, you had to screen, you had to get to these results, understand the concepts, and then you would have arrived at this table. So by using this tool, this has come in just a matter of seconds, not even minutes. Then what are the limitations and considerations? So this is the first prompt with just one question, what it has given. So since the number of prompts are very limited, I'm going to skip a few of them. But for your curiosity, for your understanding, you can actually explore all of them. Okay, but for mine, because here, since I'm using like a specific account here, the number of prompts, I'm just skipping a few things, but majority journals and all, like once you've got the gist of it, the next is you will be reviewing the summary and extract certain sources. That is identifying the titles, authors, which journals, years, all these things. So I'll identify this. I'll put this part. Let me just start with this. Okay. Has anyone got to this point? Is there any problem or question before proceeding to the next part? Hello? Was there any any difficulty in understanding or in implementation?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Right. So going to the next part, here we are trying to review the summary. We are trying to summarize it. So here I'll be putting identify the titles, authors, journals, and years, and then also note the types. Then yeah, I think that should be around it. Then further, create a spreadsheet which involves these things. Create a spreadsheet which involves all these things. So this is the second prompt I'm giving. Again, you can have it as the normal search, or you can go into deep search, deep research. So I'm not going into deep search for now, because again, the more you use, the lesser the prompts will get, but you can also go here. But the idea here is with this, so like since we are actually starting the process, there is no necessity to get into deep research, because we don't even know the relevant keywords that are necessary, right? So at this stage, I really don't think it is necessary to get into deep research right now. So I'll just give a go. So this here it gives you the table, the evidence table, right? Which otherwise we should have manually done it. So you can also download this into a CSV file. I'll open it for your reference. So yeah, this is a CSV file which has been generated, and with the year, with the design, how many like samples were there, like how many participants were involved in that study, what was the main finding of that study, and the link to the paper. This is how you get it.
Sir, show the downloading. From where did you download?
That is from this option. So when you actually get into so when you just hover around the mouse near the screen, when you just click on table, you'll have the option to download. So even when you come to this table, right? So there was another table of effectiveness. So even here, there is an option of download CSV. It can be downloaded in that way. Okay. So moving forward, the next is you can ask a follow-up question. So once you have identified and once you have tried to actually read through the like the output what the tool has given you, and when you have some grasp of the idea, you can have a follow-up question. For example, are there studies that contradict these findings? Let me ask a general question like this. So I'll just put, are there any studies that contradict these findings? Just a general part. And what else is there? Yeah, and what is the average sample size in these studies? Okay, so I'll just keep it to this part and just So here you will also be finding what are the contradictory studies here. So some of them, which means that the original question here was, does mindfulness have any effect on the cognitive flexibility? So all these were actually saying that yes, it does have some effect. But the contradictory study is it does not have any effect. The null hypothesis, right? So for that, it is also supporting with evidence. That also has around 18. And yes, there are studies that are contradicting to the positive findings. And these are the specific papers that contribute, that tell you the contradiction. And then coming to the second part, the average sample size among all these studies are around 117 adults, in which there are 7 articles that are randomized clinical trials. That is a type of study with a total participant of around 276 participants. There is a certain group. This is like a psychiatric group in which 276 belongs to this group, and then 287 belongs to the healthy people, with an average of 40. Average people of around 40 per group, and per study it's around 80. Again, this gives us like a citation from where it has got these numbers. So it is not giving you arbitrary numbers. And again, this is a summary table. Again, it is also summarized into a table with the year, with the design, sample size, the main finding, and the link to that papers. Again, this can be downloaded for your references. Again, there are a follow-up questions. You can keep on going into this deeper and deeper. By just doing this exercise, you will get a fair bit of idea about the topic in just matter of a couple of hours. Okay, now coming to...
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
So this perplexities database is up to which year? 2023, like ChatGPT is having.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So the Perplexity and Consensus AI, this is up to date. Unlike the ChatGPT,
Okay.
which is trained up to 2022.
So it's real time, like recent
Yeah.
publications.
Yes, let me just show you the papers here. You can actually see a few of the papers here. It will actually give you 2024. Yeah, see 2024 up to last year. So it is actually giving you like the latest papers as of now. So it
Sir, one
unlike the
question I
ChatGPT
have.
is sorry.
So one more question I have.
Yeah.
Why after doing this literature reviews and our what we find from the literature review, that is what a research gap. So
Yeah.
what is the basic difference between AI powered finded research gap and the manual which we used to do earlier? Is there
Yeah. See,
any
that is
difference
the
in
yes.
correctness or, sir, as you
Correct.
told in that slide number 8, I think.
Yeah. So you're saying what is the difference between the identifying the research gap between AI powered and the normal way how we do it, right?
Yes, sir, yeah.
See, yeah, that's a good question. So what the main, it's like a irony, like it's disadvantage and advantage of the AI. It identifies the research gap based on certain patterns. See, when any AI you take that works in neural networks. Neural networks means it is a group of neurons that gets connected to each other and it just passes on information. It forms a network. Now there is no linearity. We as human beings, what we would do if we want to link papers, right? We will use the word therefore. By logical way, we will link, right? Like if A is connected to B, if B is connected to C, then A is connected to C. That is how we link it, right? The AI tool does not do that. It does not have that sequential part. So it will not say A is connected to B and B is connected to C, therefore A is connected to C. No, it will straight away take A is connected to C without giving you that relationship.
That is what we have to find there.
Sorry?
Sir, can I
That
tell?
is what we...
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, answer to this question is what I am thinking that So in the case of AI, it is going through the number of papers, hundreds of papers, and then it is generating the gaps. But in the case of human, while we are doing the literature review, so we are go through the 10 to
Yes.
10 papers or 15 papers only. Am I right, sir? So by go through that one, we are finding the gaps. So
Yes.
therefore, to get the same type of or similar type of gaps from the AI, first of all, we have to upload those papers to the AI. So then if we ask the question, we will get the almost 90% or 95% of gaps. What we found, the AI also may found. As per my knowledge, I am telling.
Correct. I would say that is correct. To a very large extent, that is correct. But the purpose of using the AI tool for identifying the research gap. So let me go back to my old example. So let's say that I want to know what is the, let's say, is there a water problem in an area in Delhi, sitting in Bangalore? Okay,
Yes,
let's
sir.
say I'm in Bangalore and I want to identify if there is if there is an electricity or a water problem in an area, let's say like Paharganj in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
So in order for me to identify that, is there a direct vehicle that can take me from my place to that specific Paharganj street,
Yes, sir.
leaving alone my private vehicle? If I go outside, is there a direct vehicle that can take me to the exact spot?
Yes, sir.
Is it feasible? Is it practical? Let's say considering the time of travel, the expense and all those things, is it practical?
Sir, sometimes we are also hearing that Google Maps, once we open in 98 or 97% of times, the route is correct. In the remaining
No, no,
cases,
no.
the route is not correct. Like that. Can
No,
we
sir.
take?
Yeah, I do agree to that. Definitely, I do agree. But so let's say that we are in some Stone Age era, so there is no technology. Like in that ways, would it be possible for you to sit somewhere around 2000 kilometers away and accurately predicting what is the problem in a single street in some far off place without any technology? Would it be possible?
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir, no.
So,
No, sir.
yeah. So what we would do is first we would go to the over that area, at least somewhere near that area. First we will go.
Yes,
So
sir.
first we will say, okay, where is that area of Paharganj? So even if we ask some people, they'll say, I don't know where exactly it is, but it is in a state called Delhi. So my objective will be to go to Delhi,
Yes, sir.
which is almost 2000 kilometers from Bangalore. But the distance from Paharganj in Delhi metro, so let's say from Delhi railway station to Paharganj, that would be approximately like 15 or 20 kilometers. Finding that place from Delhi is much, much easier than finding that street from Bangalore. So what AI does is it will take me from my place to a state called Delhi. Although it will talk about Paharganj, although it will talk about all the streets and all those things, I just want this tool to take me to the place where like a street called Paharganj, somewhere it's there. So the AI does just that. It will give you an overall general view of where you might find that topic, that very niche specific topic. So once you go to that state, again you have to like get down to manual. Again you have to buy a, you have to take a private vehicle or walk or do something to get to that specific street. So what the AI does is it will give you a very generalized opinion.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
which
sir.
street you want to go and what problem you want to find, that is only possible with the manual intervention. So the difference between AI powered and the normal literature review is we apply our logic and we apply certain linearity while we good for a limited number of papers.
Yes, sir.
But if you really want
Yes.
to go, if you want to spread
Yes.
your like the fishing net on a very large ocean, right? Then you cannot do this way. It's not practical. So that time you need to have some kind of a mechanism which will give you an approximate area where you might find the problem you are looking for. That
Yes, sir.
this tool will do it. So
Absolutely
once you
accept
go
with
there
you, sir.
again, you have to again start manually doing it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
I-
consequence question, sir. Consequence question. Sir, here actually AI is telling 2024 papers also it is showing, and also 25 papers also it is showing. So, I think as a researcher, so most of the journals are paid journals. Only few journals are free journals. The papers are not available. So therefore, if AI is showing so and so details also about those papers, how it is possible to the AI to get the recent papers which are published in the 2025 or 24 last second half. So how it is capturing and also telling to us. So based on that one, how to download, because the cost of the journal paper is very expensive. I think you know
Correct.
also. Yeah? So
Yes.
how it is capturing the 2025 paper published also, how it is possible to it, sir? Can you tell?
No, see, here what it tries to do is, again, it has to adhere to the copyright issues. So, see, just because it's an AI tool, it doesn't get a privilege to go inside, like the publisher's actual property and see inside the paper, right? So, because the paper is a property of the publisher. Let's say if Elsewhere is holding that paper, that's the property of Elsewhere.
Yes,
So, no
sir.
person or tool can go inside this property.
Mm.
But
Yeah, because why I
the
asked this
abstract
question
what
is,
it takes.
recently one of my papers was published in the IEEE transactions. So
Okay.
not possible to the all other people, other authors actually to download that paper. Yeah. So like that, while I am writing my research, so I am also facing that issue. That is why I raised this question, sir.
Definitely, sir, because the AI tool cannot go inside like those private proprietary papers. Then they will be they'll be behind bars. They'll be arrested.
Yes, sir.
It's not no the tool doesn't do that way. So what it will do is it will take up the abstract. So all these informations are majorly available from the abstracts,
Yeah.
information which is available.
Absolutely right, sir. Right.
So that is what I said. So it will
Yes.
only give you a general ballpark. It will not go deep into the paper to identify that niche topic.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say. So it will just give you the very wide open spread. It will just give you that, okay, the state of Delhi is somewhere there. That's all it will tell. Becomes our duty to actually pinpoint that street. That we have to go inside the paper and start reading. Only then we can find out that street. You are understanding my example?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. 100% I am up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good. No problem.
So
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
So you said that once a day, only 5 prompts can be given to Perplexity, and once a month, you are allowed 10 prompts. So, sir, in case the way you taught us research, how research is to be done in Perplexity, can we combine the questions together, like pasting a title and asking it to summarize with citations, and along with the same question, can we ask it to identify titles, authors, design, research design, and ask it to create a spreadsheet? Can we combine the prompts together?
See, we can, but see, you need to understand one thing. The reason why these people are providing us with a limited resource is because the outcome what the tool gives, that requires a lot of compute power. So the compute power is very finite here. Since we are using a free version, of course, if you want to get the unlimited way, there is a pro version which is there. I think monthly it's around $11. That comes to around like 800 or 900 rupees. So like that option is there. But when we go for a free service, there is a limited option. Now this is for the because the like this is of course it's maintained by a proprietary like a single owner is maintaining this, so he has to maintain his logistics, right? Has to maintain his business. So there is a very finite amount of compute that is given for this process. Now, when you add more and more questions into it, what happens is its ability to go deep inside will be cut down. So it will just scrape through. So if you, instead of giving one question, if you give 5 questions, it will just scrape through. Like for example, if I give you an exam, instead of asking one single question, if I ask you 5 different questions from 5 different topics, obviously you will write it in a more generalized way, right? You will not be going in depth for a given time what you are
Yes,
given.
sir.
Like let's say if I tell you to write within 10-15 minutes, And if I give you 5 different questions, and you have a very limited access to the knowledge or database, so what you would do in order to fulfill all the 5 questions, you would just take the bare minimum that is required to fulfill those questions. You would not go deep into it.
Okay, sir, got it.
Yeah, that is the point. Okay. Right. So coming to the, I think we have the last one we gave.
So we are done with the fifth point.
Yeah. So this is the refinement what we are doing, and let's say that. Yeah. So let's say that we want to summarize the key insights and then come up with a set of keywords and some topics here. Okay. So the outcome of this should be more narrowed down so that we can give it to the next AI tool that's called consensus. So for that, let's give a prompt like summarize the key findings and provide a more refined research question and the one and then also create a let's say file for your let's see. So these are the findings that are given. And this is the research gap, which it has given actually. A few of the disadvantages are small sample size, lack of active control groups, like healthy people. Then there are varying definitions of the actual like problem, like about the cognitive flexibility itself is varying, the definition of it. So these are few of the research gaps which one can go deeper into. So this is the original question.
So I have a question. So till now, whatever we have done, like contradictory studies and all, are we required to copy it anywhere, or should we just go through it? Like we have created a spreadsheet, we went through it, then we have created a contradictory studies. Well, we have asked it a question, like what are the contradictory studies and what are the contradictory findings and what is the average sample size? Are we required to copy it and save it somewhere?
Like you mean to say these findings?
What all we have done up till now in Perplexity?
Yeah.
What all questions we have asked it? Are we required to copy the answers and responses and save it somewhere?
See, like if you're using the app, so this is an app which I'm using. If you're using a web version, it's slightly difficult. I mean, there is an option, but it's not very reliable. But if you're using the like the tool itself, like a software tool that can be downloaded and run, yes, you have an option here. So if you go here, there is a library. There is an option called library here. So here it will share your this one, like the prompts which you have given. The entire thread will be saved. Provided you have an account, you have logged in, you have created an account, and you have a tool like this in the library part, these things will be saved. The prompts.
Yes, sir. Everything will be available, sir. Older searches also available, sir. I need to.
Sir, I have one question.
Sorry, please come again.
Sir, I have one question, sir. Sir, we are having a lot of good quality papers on, like we are having when we search on the web, we are having a lot of science and technology research papers on Science Direct and other websites. So this Perplexity, can it write a full-scale research paper, sir? Can it write a full-scale research?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely it can write. It does has the capability to write the write a full research paper. But again, the problem here is you cannot track back why it has written that way.
Okay. Okay.
It will come up with the research gap.
Oh.
But while we are reading, we will not be able to identify what was the logic behind that flow. That will not be there. That is where the difference between human and AI comes.
Means that the data which it generates, we can read it and then we can frame the paper later. So it will
Exactly.
give you the background data at least.
Yes, definitely.
And sir, one small question: whether it fetches the data from the reputed research websites like Science Direct, or it randomly whether it is purely AI based, or it will fetch the data from reputed websites like Science Direct and other websites.
Yes, yes. It will only take it from the reputed sources. Let me just show you. I think where was that? Yeah, Perplexity. See here, there is an option here. If you can see my screen, right? There is an option here called as search. Sorry, this globe icon. If you click here, there are 4 options here, sir. One is web, one is academic. See, if you switch it on, it will only search academic papers. It will not search the entire web.
Okay.
So whatever you find is only from the published sources, not from the across the web. It's not like a Google Scholar. You can say it's more like a PubMed or a Scopus.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Coming to the answer here. Okay, so this is the refined research question what we have. So the effect of multi-session mindfulness compared to active objectively measured in healthy controls, and how do intervention duration participant age moderate this field. So this aspect we did not know, that age also plays a part, and then intervention duration, the duration of the treatment also plays a part. So this we did not know. This we can verify by manually reading the paper. That is what I said. How it arrived to this conclusion, we cannot say just by looking at it. We need to understand, we need to go to those papers, we need to make that linearity. We need to establish that link. It only gives us the path or the direction where we could go. Okay. So this concludes the use of perplexity. So once we have got that, so we have extracted some specific focused questions, which is much better than a one-liner here. And then we will go to the consensus. Yeah, I will discuss about the outcome a little bit later, okay, on the perplexity. Let me just complete the process in the interest of time. So I'll share the link again in the chat. So this is the yes. Okay. Right. Is my
Are you required to download this consensus.ai?
No. Like it's an app. Like it's an online app, web app. You don't need to download. Just go to consensus.app. App. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. I wrote AI. Yeah, sorry. It's consensus.app. Is my voice clear, audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so what I'm doing now is following the procedure here. Let me again go back. So here I have taken the output from Perplexity from here, and I am pasting it into the consensus.ai. Now, what the consensus.ai does is, it is more deeper than the Perplexity. And there is one very special feature, or a few very special features of consensus AI that Perplexity does not have. And I'll show you what that is. So I just copied this and I'm pasting it here. Now, before getting into that, I would like to reframe this a little bit. instead of how, I'll write does. Does intervention duration and participant age moderate this effect? Okay, so this is posed as a question. So I'll keep it as pro. Again, when we go for pro, I think we have just around 10. So I'm going to use this very sparingly. Please bear with me. So I'm giving an option here. I thought I had. That's my other account. Okay. Just give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, share. Yeah. So this is using the consensus app. You need to log in using your account. Anyhow, like even a Gmail can be there. So once we do this, get a control here. So just a minute. Okay. This has an option of directly saving it. I just want to take one session out here. Okay. So again, going here, it does give you the prompt. Here again, it explains, it gives you a summary, and then it explains that yes, effectiveness of a certain disorder, that is NBI, is there on cognitive flexibility, and it gives few parameters which we need to consider along with the citations. So these are the papers which it has referred to arrive at this statement. Okay, and again, these are the moderations. Means we asked a question: does intervention duration and participant age moderate the effect? So it has given the intervention duration and participant age, the duration in age, and what are the findings, and which were the papers that supported these findings. So this question also was given, and then what was the mechanism for it? So up to here, yes. Yeah, and there is a filter here again. So just before that, I wanted to show one thing. Okay, I'll ask this one. I'll just take this part of the question. Moderate. And I'll give it. So this consensus specifically takes some time. Okay, this tool takes quite a bit of time in a minutes, because this does very deep research. Unlike the ChatGPT or Perplexity, this does quite a deep research, so it generally takes some time. Yeah, so this was the feature what I wanted to indicate. So there is a concept called as consensus meter. Okay, and so let this populate properly. I'll come to it. Why is it not giving? Yeah, it requires at least 5 papers. I just 2 more papers. Let me see.
So how did you open this consensus meter? From where?
This opens depending on your question. So if you ask a very direct question in the form of a question, that will directly give you a consensus meter. That is what the name and the app is about. It gives you a consensus information, whether it's a yes or a no. It means how many studies are actually supporting your question and how many are contradicting to that your question. It will give you with citations. I am just trying to get to that. Just a minute. Okay, I'll just reframe it. I'll put a more generalized question here. I'll just keep it to this for now. So again, the literatures would be very different compared to perplexity and consensus. This would be a little more deeper. I don't know why this is happening. Yeah, good. Yes, so here I've just changed a little bit. Okay, I've just reframed the refined question into more active voice. So here I'm just giving it as my mindfulness-based intervention measure cognitive flexibility or not. So it has identified 6 papers which are relevant. Among those papers, 83% papers say yes. It does have. Please excuse me a second. Sorry. Yes. So out of these 6 relevant papers, 83% of them say that yes, the interventions does have does measure cognitive flexibility. Mindfulness based intervention does measure cognitive flexibility, whereas 17% says possibly, which means that it might. Now, there are no contradicting results as of now, and there are no even mixed opinions about it for now. Now, again, to support this part, okay, there are again evidences here. This is what I meant by evidence-based synthesis. So every claim what the tool makes is supported by citations. There is not a single para which is not without a citation. So the tool is not making anything up. It is just redirecting you to the available papers. It is just mining the data for you, the papers for you. It is not interpreting the data. Yeah, so these are the types of mindfulness-based interventions. Again, if you are going into the PICO framework, again, you need to get the interventions and the outcome, the I and the O. So for that, it is giving you the like the parameters here. And then these are the results. Yeah, so these are the papers which is there. So again, for each and every paper, it gives you the information. For example, it has taken mediation, mindfulness, and so let's say it has used, yeah, for this. The type of intervention that was used is mindfulness mediation, and the flexibility measure was used is here is Stroop D2 test. This is a kind of an intervention what they have used, and the outcome was it has actually improved the performance. So for this claim, this paper is the source. So we go to this paper, that is Meditation, Mindfulness, and Cognitive Flexibility. That's written by Adam Moore et al. In Consciousness and Cognition in 2009. It has around 1,176 citations. That is the type of study is called non-randomized control trial, and it is highly cited. This says yes. This yes is indicating of this yes. This one, 83%. Whereas the next paper is possibly, that is 2. Yeah, this one, objective cognitive test. So based on this parameter, this paper is saying possibly. Now, again, if you want to go delve a bit deeper into it, like let's say possibly, why it's possible. So you can actually go here and you'll get more information about it. So what kind of study was it done? So for this paper, the population was adult patients with anxiety disorders. The method was controlled experimental study, and the outcome was cognitive flexibility. And these were the findings. So out of 7 attributes, 4 has been extracted. And this was a rigorous journal. And again, this is from the Journal of European Psychiatry, published in 2021. So likewise, you can go into each and every paper. And this is one of the very good feature also. Although this is not available for all papers, but for few papers is available. So a full text is available for citation number 3. So let's say that you have delved a bit deeper into it. So let's say that you have seen this paper, and this is for 3, right? So let me see where 3 was used. So yeah, so this is for, again, mindfulness-based stress reduction. This was an intervention where there was a significant improvement. Has cited. So I want to know more about it. First, I will understand what are the main parameters. I'll go to oh God. Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible. The screen sharing has stopped.
Yeah.
Oh God. Just a minute. When did I where did I stop? Hello?
So we can open
Yes,
the
sir, now
full
your
paper
screen
if
Hello?
it is
visible.
available.
Sorry.
We
Hello.
can open the complete
No,
paper if it is available through the citation link, and the consensus meter and the proof and evidences are even. There the link is there, we can have the citation link.
Yes,
And
yes.
if
Yeah, we can do that.
then we
Also,
can have the abstract.
along with the citation. Sorry.
So voice
Okay,
is
let me just
breaking.
walk you through just a small example. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Let me just walk you through a small, like an example here. So let's say that I have actually, so I've seen yes and possibly, and then so I'm more interested in the possibility. Why is it not a yes, and why it is possibly? So what I'll do is I'll just go through these parameters, and I have come across this part. So there is types of interventions and outcomes which are there. So for this intervention, let's say MBSR, this is a type of a treatment that is given to such patients. And based on the treatment, the outcome is significant improvement in healthy adults. And this is supported by paper number 3. So I'm interested to see paper number 3, what was so significant, what made the finding so significant. So I'll go to paper number 3, and first I will open the summary. Here I'll see that again, this is as per the PICO framework. Right, population intervention. The study used high stress non-clinical adults. A total number of patients were around 54 people, and the method was used as randomized control trial, and these were the outcome, and these were the findings. Now, further, if I want to go deeper into it, see that this is a complete paper. The PDF is available for this. So I'll ask this paper. Go to this option. Here, you can have a normal regular chat to the paper. Let's say this is the full text. Okay, let me zoom a bit. Okay, let me just make it big. What happened? Yeah. Just a minute. Okay. The text is visible, right? Okay. So let's say that I start like reading the paper, and yeah. So let's say that I want to understand about. Let's not take this one. Let's take something more. Yeah. So let me say. So there is a graph here. The cognitive flexibility inventory scores as a function of time and group. Okay. Now I want to understand what this graph is saying. So all I will do is I will just go to the chat and I will say explain figure number 2. And ideally it should explain. So I'll just go here, explain figure 2 in a simpler way. So this is like you are having a conversational exercise with the paper itself. It's like you are talking to the paper. So yeah, again, there are just 10 messages left. Okay, it's getting overloaded. Too many things are going on. So yeah. So I wish to take another 10 to 15 minutes extra. Would that be okay, or should I proceed in
Sir,
my?
is this ask paper is a part of consensus?
Yes, yes,
See, how
yes.
to go to this ask paper?
See, this option is not available for all the papers, only papers which has open access. So where the AI tool can take up the entire, can read the entire article, only for those papers you will have this option.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So this was, so this article was actually an open access article. So for that reason, AI has given you this option to explore, because it has been given the access. Okay, this is really bad. I'll try to close it.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, perplexity helped us define the topic. We refined the topic and we came to consensus, and we
Yeah.
asked the refined question to it, and
Yeah.
it showed us the review. So that is the review we have to consider in a research paper.
Yes, preferably, because consensus is more deeper. It's more, what can I say?
Sir, we will download it or we
We,
will copy paste.
which one?
Whatever we have done in consensus, we have come up with a review. We have come
There
up,
is a save option here. So you can see the bookmark option here, right? Here, save thread.
so
Hello?
we'll copy paste from here or we'll download from here.
Ma'am, download is not required, ma'am. Directly you can open in the browser, and after that you can just bookmark it in the browser. Okay. Next time onwards, automatically it can be open.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. See, it's very tricky because if we copy, right, without our knowledge, we could lead into plagiarism. So it is best not to directly take the contents, because it has happened many times. Without our knowledge, we actually would have incorporated many things which the tool would have suggested. So yeah, okay. So this is the thing which I wanted to explain. So again, there is 83% all this. And there is one more thing which I want to say here. So let's say that the quality of the journals which has been seen here, okay, that is not mentioned here, right? Whether it's a Q1 or a Q2, so that option also is given here. So let's say, yeah, so this is the recency which I wanted to say. So you see the green is 83%, possibly is around 17% of it, right? Now this 83 is evaluating 5 papers, and it is recent as 2016. So most of the papers were in 2016. They were very confident back then that yes, this did have an effect. But in 2021, one paper actually contradicted, saying that yes, possibly it could be there. Now again, for these 5 papers, totally they had 1.4 thousand. I mean, like 14,000 citations totally for these 5 papers, which means that these 5 papers were very influential, and it was a tier 4. And sorry, this is a Q1 tier, and this is also Q1. So by quality wise, both are on the same side. But as recent as 2021, some people are saying that might be. Okay. Now let's say that I want to apply some more filters here. Okay. Okay. So let's say that I want to go to the same thing. I'll copy paste. I'll create a new thread. Here I'll put, and here in the filter, I will take only those from Q1 journals. Okay, only from the Q1 journals I want, from tier 1. I don't want the others. And the rest, if you want, you could change, but I would just keep it as it is. So these are the options which you can actually change. So if you want from a specific area, again, can be done. Okay, these are the filters which are there. Again, the country. So I'll apply this one filter, and I will run this again. See, what happens is when you change the quality of the journals, again, it changes many things. So even a single filter will change things. This is nonlinearity, what I meant. See, now when I put only for Q1, it has come down to 71% and possibly to 14%, and no is 14%. So again, when you break up, you can see that in 2016, just 5 papers, 1 paper in 2021, and as recent as 2023, one paper is actually contradicting to this. And this is the paper. It's actually contradicting. And all of them are Q1. And this has a 3 citation. So this is what I meant by pro and con. So which means that there are strengths and there are contradicting. So while you're doing a literature review, it's important that you need to have both of them. Between this is what you find the research gap. Between yes and the no, there might be some reasons why he's saying no. Those reasons becomes your research gap. And again, it's again expanding on those papers. So let me see the no paper, right? So this is the one, 2023 average. Yeah, so here I just pick up. Sorry, the internet has here is no.
Sir, if we are using below 2020 year papers, the reviewers are rejecting the papers, sir.
Yeah, you can see the
Recently, I
because
have
of
also
this, right?
suffered.
In 16, yeah.
Because I am also working as a more than a
I'll-
three top level, top 25 journals reviewer, and also publishing at least 3 to 4 papers per annum, sir. Yeah, in the computer science and engineering, especially the data science area. Recently, chronic diseases, I have verified there. They rejected because of the reason is below 2020 papers you have followed not correct like this. Already this research is outdated like that. They told.
Okay. Yes, sir. Like I will actually address to that. Maybe after the meet, we can address to that.
So that is why.
That is actually a worry, actually.
In the prompt message, better to mention Q1 or quality 1 or quality 2 level and greater than or is equals to 2020. If we mention like that, then it can respond properly. I think so. The
Yes,
tool can
definitely.
respond properly.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is the paper which actually says the no. So there is one paper which is contradicting, and this is actually going towards no. And you can find the reasons here, like what kind of people actually contradicted that result. So most of them were unimpaired adults over 55 years. So age definitely plays a role here. Just by looking at the summary, we can make out. And then there were only 7 people. So again, they would have been a data set bias, right? So this is a very small number of participants to consider for a study. And again, there was like the outcome based on this is still questionable. So we can say that although there is just one paper which is saying no, still the majority of it is around 1.4K total. So for these 5 papers, there is still a major number of people who have cited. It's very influential paper is what we can find. So we can say that on the whole, let me just complete, sorry, just a second. So on the whole, we can say that yes, the given hypothesis tends towards yes. So there is an actual impact of a mindfulness intervention towards cognitive flexibility. Yes, sir. Hello? Hello?
Sir. You are right, sir. You are right, sir.
Okay. Then now the next part is actually to the like visualization, which comes to the last part. So again, this is about the consensus, and then we will derive. So we identified which are there the studies. So I am interested to know these yes studies, right? Okay. What are the factors among these studies which have said yes? I want to know more about it. So for that, what I'll do is I will take these articles, I will take it in the form of an RIS and I'll install it into a VOS viewer. Now, I do not know how many of you have this tool. It does take little bit of time. It's a 40 or 60 MB of software. So I do not know how quickly it can be installed, but I'll post the link and I'll give you the details. In the interest of time, I'll just show you the demonstration here, if that's okay. So what I'll do here is, for the last part, I'll just go and write a last query saying that for all the papers saying yes, right? For all the papers supporting, that is saying yes, collect those papers and provide a .ris file in a downloadable format. And let me just give it here. Once you have an RIS file, from there onwards, you can visualize the internal keywords. So you can take the keywords inside those papers and you can build the network. You can build a network saying, okay, how are these keywords actually connecting to one another? Who were the authors? What are their backgrounds? And how is one author of one paper related to another paper of another author? So all these things you can analyze. That is called as bibliography analysis. And the very preferred tool used is the VOS viewer. So let this generate. I'll just download this. Okay, I think it has completed. Okay. There are few things which needs to still evolve. There is only few papers can be done. Otherwise, I'm sure there is a download option. It's just that just text editor and it here and save it as .ris. Save as okay. I'll just say as .ris and I'll put it in. Okay, so that is done. So this is the software called VOS viewer. Okay, and this is mainly used for visualization. So under the map section, I'll go to create and based on bibliography details. So I'll go to that second option, I'll click on next. And here I need to upload the RIS file. So I'll go here, I'll go to the downloads and what happened?
So sorry to intervene. Create a map based on network data or bibliographic data?
Bibliography. If you are taking directly from the Web of Science or Scopus from the database itself, then you can go for the option 1. But if you have converted that into an RIS format, into an offline format, like a downloadable, then you have to take option 2. It's not okay.
So one more question, sir. What about the RIS file which we have created in Perplexity?
That also that I have not copy pasted it. You need to actually do the copy pasting like as I'm doing it now. Then we can use it.
But sir, like which one to be used, Consensus or Perplexity? Both can be used.
Both can be used, but I would suggest Consensus. The reason is because it has given you like such a very clear cut yes or a no options along with very specific citations, right? So when you use that like tool, it gives you a more clearer idea. The first tool did
In-depth
not give you
filter.
that kind of clarity. Yeah.
In-depth
The
filter
clarity
is possible. In-depth filters.
Correct.
Filter is very good, sir, in the concepts.
Yes. It's there. Okay, it's giving problem. Okay, I'll do one thing. Just give me 1 second. Where is that? Or I'll just convert this. Okay. I'll just show you the visualization, and I think unfortunately I cannot. I don't think I'll be having the time to explain the visualization, but I'll show you how it works. After that, it's very self-explanatory. Most of the measures are straightforward, although it's very interesting to find out. Okay, so it's given for 4. Okay, let me just take it for 4. And let me open an Excel sheet here. I just put the take up. This does not have a DOI. This has a DOI. And let me give it as at least if you have around 6 to 7, it would give some meaningful outcome. So just for the purpose of visualization, I am indicating the DOI. Yeah. Okay. Just take it quickly. It's just around 10 something. What happened? This is interesting. Okay. Okay, leave it. I'll just take this 4. This is just for the demonstration purpose. So I'll go to yeah, here only. I'll take it. Sure. 1 second. UI2 RIS. I'll just go here and I'll just paste the device here. These are the DOIs and convert into RSI, RIS, and that will be available for download. So I'll download the RIS file here, and then we go to the this part. Go to second option. Go to next, and here go to downloads and click on RIS. You have references.ris. Click on yes. Go to next. Yeah, so here you will have different types of analysis here. So I'll just quickly say this. So when you take these 4 papers, right? So there is co-authorship. Co-authorship means how many authors are shared among these papers. And then there is full counting and there is fractional counting. Again, these are different parameters. So if there is a parameter, yeah, okay, fine. I'll just take this part. There is also a concept of co-occurrence here, which indicates the keywords. Since there are less number of papers, it's difficult to arrive at this part. Otherwise, you'll also have the analysis for keywords also. So which specific concept you can take up. Then you can go and yeah, you can take up that next and finish. So these are all the authors. And this is a kind of network what you get. So this person is connected to these 3 again. It's a very tricky part I've taken, but so again, all of them have published from initial year. So this is the years, that is from 2002. The yellow indicates a later part of the years, and these are actually the density matrix. Density matrix in the sense how many of them are actually more important or influential. So if he had more number of people connected to this person, he would glow more. So this density map also is very useful when we actually see. Okay. And, the next is the analysis part, where you have 4 methods. That is no normalization, association, strength, fractionalization, and modularity. Again, these are used for different pattern recognition problem. Again, this is slightly complicated. I would want to explain this, but in the interest of time, I'm just indicating that there are these methods which one can explore. And then there are also the minimum cluster size which can be changed. There are advanced parameters here, where you can actually start the iteration at a random. Here you can start how the network is clustering update. So you can, after making the changes, you can update the clustering. And once this part is done, you can save the like the entire visualization here. And that's option is here. So let me just take it. Yeah. So here, so you can click on the save, and it will be saved in the JSON VOS viewer or in the JSON format, which can be again like put in, and you can see it. Also, there is an option of VOS online viewer. So once you save, you can see it there, and you can also share it among your peers also of this network. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I taken already 20 minutes extra. So I would like to wind up at this point. Just complete to my presentation here. Yeah, with the network visualization, these are the parts. So these are the like parameters which you can work on. Of course, if you depending on your research question, the more number of papers you have, the better network you will get. And this is an exercise, right? This is always iterative. And yeah. some of the use cases of the VOSR are mentioned here. I'm sorry. These are the use case of the biosphere. So one can see that if the concept of mindfulness is again getting into it's branching out into different cognitive aspects. Otherwise, we can spot influential authors in that area which we have identified, or we can identify some specific research cluster, or we can also track temporal trends, like how some keywords gained importance over multiple years, over the progression of years. And then your novelty. For example, you see some clusters, but some of the words actually but it is not there in the cluster. So that becomes your novelty. So such things also can be identified by using the VOSVR process. So these are some of the use cases. And once all these things are done, you could go on to draft your review paper based on available guidelines like Prisma guidelines. So many of the sections like methods, results, discussion, these are automatically done. So you can mention that, and you can go about with the with the methodological approaches here. So instead of manually doing, you can mention that these are the tools that has been used for research strategy, and still follow the Prisma guidelines. The high chances of getting accepted. This concludes my session for the day. Sorry, this was done in haste at the last moment, but I seek your apology. But yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Participants, if there are questions, we can take few questions. Either we can conclude. Please, anyone, if you have any questions or the queries.
Sir, I heard about this perplexity a lot of times in the past, but sir, as on today, is there any correct AI-based tool available which can literally generate a logically linked research paper, because it has some gaps as we have discussed? So is there any tool nowadays that will generate actual research paper, correct research paper?
See, again, as I said, the AI tool itself does not have an objective, right? It does not know where it has to look and what it has to do. So the genuinity of the research depends on the question you are asking for it. So for example, if you are asking a very like a genuine question to the tool, it will give you a reciprocal genuine answer back with a very evidence-based approach. And if, for example, if I'm giving a very kind of an like a more of a vague question, then it is bound to give me a very like a similar answer of that fashion. So it really depends on the user of the genuinity of the tool. So how genuine that tool is going to give you the outcome, that depends on the question you're going to ask. So these existing tool itself suffices, sir. There are also papers who have actually published using these tools only.
Sir,
These are specifically for academic purpose.
Sir, I have one small question. Nowadays, whether whatever research paper which are being written nowadays, whether they are using these tools to some extent, Perplexity and
Yes,
other
there
tools
are
which we have discussed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
that
actually,
means they are
some
getting
of them
some sort of
are
help.
definitely. See, there are actually few tools that are recognized by Elsevier and other publishing companies. Like publishers do recognize some AI tools, which they say, okay, yes, we do acknowledge those tools, but ChatGPT is not among them. See, what happens is ChatGPT's database is not strictly academic. It has like wide source. So the like the training what has done to that model is very generalized. Whereas these models which I showed you, right, the perplexity and the consensus, these are specifically trained on academic databases, and it's specifically meant for academic research. It is not used for any other things. So when the database is accessed in those, it is genuine. So many publishers are actually acknowledging it these days.
So it is recommended that, sir, if we want to write any research paper in the future,
yes.
So rather than going as per our own knowledge or Google-based search, it is highly recommended that we should use these tools. It will give more accurate information.
Yes, sir. Actually, if I have to say, from my personal experience, I have got my papers rejected because I did not use AI. The reason is because insignificant findings.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, okay.
Because our manual interventions are very limited, sir. We cannot compete with the existing technologies. The AI technique, the models are so advanced that what we do, in a month or 2 or 3 months, that does it in a matter of minutes and hours. So if we are not using
Yes,
it,
sir,
then
yes.
we are at we are actually on the backward of the research.
So papers are getting rejected because we didn't use the AI based tools.
Yes, not effectively. Now, if we are
Oh.
just paraphrasing the the outcome what the AI gives, if we just take that and if we just pass it out as our own, if we just do minor tweaks and if we just say we have done that, then that is plagiarism. But if you are
Yes, sir.
taking the outcome from the AI tool, and if you are providing your own insight from that, if you have understood what the AI has told, and from that understanding, if you have developed your own insight, that becomes your proprietary. So that becomes your novelty. Many people, what they do is they just take the content from the AI, they just paraphrase it a little bit, and they say that yes, we have done a literature review. That gets caught as a this one plagiarism. The thing is, it is just a tool. So we have to use it as a tool only. Means we just have to take the outcome from that. We have to digest what it has given, and from that we have to give our own insight. Then it becomes our work. So it's a very
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir. There is one question. Myself, PG Gavne from Maharashtra. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
There is a question. Can AI-driven tools?
Yeah.
Can AI-driven tools help in predicting novel applications or properties of Irlen-based materials?
Could you repeat your question, sir?
Can AI-driven tools help in predicting novel applications or properties of Irlen-based materials?
What based material, sir?
Irlen-based materials.
Yes, sir. It does. It can. It can to some extent, but again, its validity has to be verified manually, sir, by the user.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Again, there is one question.
Yeah.
How can AI enhance bibliography discovery in Irlen research?
There is one tool called dimensions.ai. And there is dimensions.ai, and there is one more called as Skite. SEIT. So you can actually explore that. That is specifically meant for bibliography analysis, but that's slightly complex. I mean, you need to have a thorough background research and only give only selected papers to those tools so that they make the analysis. So if you give large number of papers, then it's bound to make again errors. Bias will be there. So those tools you can explore, sir. One is dimensions.ai and the other is Skite, SEIT.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very good, sir. Splendid lecture you have delivered. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I think there is no more questions. So if you could permit, shall we conclude, sir?
Yes,
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Dr. Virendra Pal from Assam. Sir, the software which you have shown, I have seen the databases access like Scopus, Web of Science, or PubMed. So database access is limited to the abstract level, or it is up to the full text level?
No. That is what I said in the beginning. So the papers are the property of publishers. So elsewhere is having a paper means that's a property of elsewhere. So since the AI is there, AI is again controlled by some person, right? Some business person. So he cannot actually enter into another publisher's part and start doing it. So it only limits itself to the abstracts. And if papers are open access, then yes, it will take the open access papers. Otherwise, it will only limit to the abstracts.
Okay, but full access is available for abstract, is it not, sir?
Full, yes, yeah, definitely. Means what we are able to access, AI will be able to access the same thing.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Shall we conclude, sir, if you could permit?
Yes, sir.
So on
Sir,
behalf
I have a
of
question to the
organizers-
organizers. So you're given an assignment
Yes, ma'am.
and sir, I have a question for
Can
the
we
organizers.
ma'am,
the
can
authority.
we conclude, ma'am, for first? Can we conclude first? Then we will discuss regarding the assignment.
Okay, fine, sir. Fine.
So on behalf of the all organizers, Sant Garge Baba Amravati University and Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center and all the participants, I extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Kiran Raj sir for such a wonderful session towards this evidence-based research and data synthesis using this AI tool. Sir, really your presentation was very wonderful and you have provided the hands-on on these tools that are very effective. Sir, one more request from all the participants, if it is possible to please share your presentation with us so we can use that presentation to solve our assignment. I once again extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Kiran Das sir for such a wonderful and thought-provoking session here. And with the kind consent of Mr. Kiran Das sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yes. Can I, is there anything else?
Hello.
Hello. Sure, sir. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. It was a very pleasurable session. I hope to meet you all again tomorrow.
Yeah, sir. Definitely. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. What is your question?
Sir, the assignment that has been provided today, sir, the last question that apply any evidence quality grading, such as grade.
Yeah.
Sir, I am not aware of it.
That was, yeah, so that is like an optional part. This is just as an exercise. So grade is basically like it's a framework to evaluate the outcome of the AI tool. So like whatever the tool, like the outcome the AI tool has given. So there are few protocols which are available to evaluate how effectively or how correctly the outcome has come based on your research question. So for that, actually, I thought this would be more like an add-on step. It's not a necessary thing because since I have not covered here, but it would be nice if like if people explore the topic and if they are able to justify the findings what they have got from the AI tool from today's exercise what they have done. That's it. It's not a compulsion. It's an
So that
optional.
is a part of
Last part.
assignment. So I have asked you this question.
Sorry.
That is a part of our assignment today. We're
Correct.
supposed to submit the assignment by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So therefore, I asked you a question. So if that part can be skipped or we can try by our own.
You can try. You can try by your own, but since I have not covered here, it's an optional part. It's not compulsory.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so participants, we will stop now here and meet tomorrow with our tomorrow schedule. Thank you, everyone. Please be complete assignment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.